Thank you very much, Nona and Nicola. And right now I would like to give the floor to Gulmira Rzayeva, the Principal Research Fellow at SAM. Please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Gülşen Hanım. Dear ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, it's a great pleasure to welcome our guest here at the center and all of you. Well, I think we heard a lot and very interesting overview from our panelists and about the changing landscape of energy security, both in terms of geopolitics and from industry point of view. Well, there is a Chinese saying, may you live in interesting time. I think in that sense we are all very lucky to live in this interesting time given all these changes and I would say energy turmoil that we are witnessing now. So in the light of all these changes, I would like to focus on mainly the Southern Gas Corridor and the implication of the this energy turmoil to Azerbaijan and the whole project. Well, recent shift in the ever-evolving energy industry have demonstrated that not only the players but also the rules of the game are changing, and investment level have declined, the price volatility have increased, and advanced in technology have revolutionized the production. So despite all these changes, our region still remains the main region or the major region for production and transit and the transportation of energy to the end users, presenting a range of opportunities for international oil companies for investment. Along with these perspectives in mainly industry perspective, this region also is a central arena for deep-seated geopolitical tension as well. Having said that, I mean the ongoing geopolitical events in our neighborhood, in our region, with Russia, Ukraine, the EU, and also with Azerbaijan and Turkey that are gaining the center stage and as a dominant player in this changing energy environment. So our recent global events in our neighborhood, I think, have put the spotlight back on Azerbaijan and Turkey. Likewise, it was in early 90s and 2000s with Baku, Tbilisi, Ceyhan. On both countries, Azerbaijan as a mainly hydrocarbon producer country, and Turkey as a transit country and as a main a contender for a regional energy hub. The importance of Azerbaijan and Turkey and other players of the Southern Gas Corridor growing because of the initiated projects of the value chain of the Southern Gas Corridor, starting from the very beginning, from the Sangachal terminal and going all the way to the European end users in the markets in Italy. I think the main importance of this project lies on three main aspects, and this is first of all is the growing importance of the strategic infrastructure, because the growing this importance for strategic infrastructure's importance is growing for Europe, not only because European consumers will get some more than 10 BCM. It's actually about 11 BCM of gas per annum from Azerbaijan. But it's because this project will solve the EU's problem in the future, and its possible concern as how to transport the additional volume of gas that will be or maybe available in the future from other gas suppliers such as Turkmenistan, or maybe in the future from Iran, if the partners will come to an agreement on the nuclear issues, and also ISMED gas. So without this strategic infrastructure that Azerbaijan has initiated, the EU will not be able to bring this gas from some other sources to the market. And I think one of the main importance of this project is within this aspect. And also, without the projects initiated by Azerbaijan, such as the SCP expansion for transportation of Shah-Deniz gas, SCP future expansion, this is for transportation of future volumes, the non-Shah-Deniz gas in Azerbaijan, TANAP, and TAP, the gas coming from other smaller fields in Azerbaijan, such as Absheron, Ümit Bebek, and others, it will be extremely challenging to take, for instance, final investment decisions in these projects without having in place this infrastructure. Because the companies that investing in upstream projects in Azerbaijan, in general, I think elsewhere, they have to first secure the the pipeline, the infrastructure that they will transport this gas, and of course the market. So without the infrastructure, I think it would not be possible also to invest and materialize the non-Shah-Deniz gas fields in Azerbaijan, such as Absheron and others, and I will come to that in my next slides. Total investment of from 45 to $50 billion in the entire value chain in all the segments of the project. The sales and purchase contracts have already been concluded, signed with the buyers of the Shah-Deniz gas, and we have 9 buyers, 9 only European buyers, and plus Botash and the Georgian National Oil and Gas Corporation that will buy gas from Azerbaijan, and the total volume will be about 11 BCM of gas, 0.9 BCM will go to the Bulgarian market. I think the advantage or the reason why the Italian market was selected for the final destination of Azeri gas is its perfect transit position. If you look at this map, you can see how Italy is very well connected with its neighboring countries, with the pipelines that are already exist. And so these pipelines connect Italy, for example, with its neighbors in Switzerland, and it's a TEMP pipeline in Germany, transit gas pipeline, even all the way with France and other neighboring countries. So technically, this gas can be taken all the way to to the Western European market, and even well, technically speaking, to the UK market as well. Of course, this does not necessarily mean that the Shah-Deniz consortium, the gas producer companies, will have to participate in the transportation of this gas all the way to those markets, because this might be financially not lucrative, not feasible for them. It will add some cost to increase the cost of the gas. But the companies that will buy this gas, for instance, French company GDF Suez, it has, and it's the biggest Shah-Deniz gas buyer. It has already contracted 65 BCM of gas for 25 years. And this company has clients in Italy, Belgium, and France. And with for instance, swap operations, GDF Suez can take this gas to its other customers in those countries. This chart shows that the production level, the total production level at the wellhead will be slightly more than 16 BCM. It is 17.6 BCM, and 1 BCM will be paid to Georgia for transit fee. As you know, Georgia charges some 5% of total gas transit through its territory, and it will be around 1 BCM of gas for Georgia. And you can see also annual contract quantity volumes here. Another partner of or shareholder of TAP project is Fluxys, the Belgium company Fluxys, which also co-owns a system which called transit gas in Europe. And this pipeline stretches from northern Italy across Switzerland into Germany. So transit, I think Fluxys can also be interested in taking this gas to some Benelux countries if it's if the commerciality allows to its customers in those countries or via its existing pipelines. Of course, in order to take to transit this gas to those countries, the reverse flow of these existing interconnectors should be developed. So bidirectional flow is needed to send this gas from south to north, because these pipelines have been working from north to south. I think the southern gas corridor and the gas production in Azerbaijan should not be limited to Shah Deniz only. It's not about the Shah Deniz field only, and of course it's the biggest field in the Caspian Sea. And one of the biggest fields in the world, and it's one of the biggest actually gas investment portfolio of BP as well, and other foreign companies that are investing in this field in Azerbaijan. But Azerbaijan gas production in the future will not be limited to Shah Deniz, and we have around maybe 20-30 undeveloped field in Azerbaijan that is free, uncontracted gas, meaning that this gas has not been developed or sold, and that this can be exported in the future to the European markets if the, again, economics allows. We did the research work about the gas industry in Azerbaijan, about the Azerbaijani potential, export potential in the 2020s and the 2030s. And we tried to look at the possible gas volumes that can come online in 2020s and 30s in Azerbaijan for export, both to Turkish and the European markets. So according to our research, the first contender, the most advanced field that can come online as soon as in 2021 or 2022, the latest, is the Absheron field. So it can, the field can produce some around 5 BCM of gas annually. And I see probably the most suitable market for this gas could be the Turkish market, because of the distance, because of the growing, rapidly growing demand, and from more strategic point of view, maybe also European market. There is another option for Absheron gas. I would say the third option is selling this gas, all the volumes available for export, to SOCAR, for instance, to another gas producers. SOCAR for maybe, probably it will be for lesser price than price in Turkish or European market, but with less commercial risks for other partners. Of course, and SOCAR can add these volumes to its gas portfolio and sell it either in the domestic market or maybe export it to its customers in Turkey or Europe. This is just an option that Absheron consortium may have, and probably they are considering it. So the next contender of gas production, we see it Ümit and Babek field perspective, that we, according to our calculations, can come online in 2026 or 2027 with some 5-7 BCMs of annual production. And the third potential contender, we see ACG depleter gas, or in other words, Azerbaijan non-associated gas, which can contribute some 4 or 5 BCM of gas. So, according to our calculations, by 2030, Azerbaijan will have some around 15 BCM of gas, additional volume of gas, only from these 3 fields that can be available for export. And of course, ramp up of development of these volumes, this gas, will depend on many things, many aspects, and there are obviously many technical, financial, strategic difficulties that the companies may face, and one of them is availability of drilling rigs in Azerbaijan, because currently there is a shortage of rigs, and now at the moment it's impossible to start the development of these fields. So another challenge may be the commerciality of the field, because current low oil price affect this kind of projects as well, and investment in this project. So also maybe it's not the best time or bad timing for investment in these fields. In order to take a final investment decision in this kind of projects, and in general decide on export of gas to the European market, it's very important to know where this market will be in 10-20 years. It's important to know whether this market will be able to absorb all this volume of gas, and it's extremely important to know how will be the market developed and what will be the price in the market for long-term perspective. In this chart, we try to reflect the gas supply demand balance in Europe up to by 2030, 2035. And if you look at the chart, you can see that between the gas demand in red curves and a supply balance, there is a gap that may occur in Europe starting in early 2020. And this gap in supply balance is a very good niche for gas coming from alternative sources, and mainly probably from Azerbaijan. So there will be good niche for this gas, of course, unless, as we heard today from our colleagues, if shale gas will not come online in Europe by this time, which is, to me, is highly optimistic. Well, unless maybe in the UK. So we have a good niche, and the reason why this gap may occur in Europe, I think, is because the European companies up to the mid-2020s would be contractually obliged to import at least 115 BCM of gas, of Russian gas, from Gazprom. This number that is is expected to reduce to 65 BCM of gas by 2030. And the reason why the current Russian customers may reduce their gas import from Russia is because they have some strong geopolitical fears with regards to this Russian gas, and because of this reason, they most likely can decide either to terminate or avoid reviewing their long-term contracts upon their expiration. So this is a possibility that may occur by 2030. And the second reason is, of course, gas production decline, and according to International Energy Agency, some 110 BCM of gas loss may occur in Europe as a result of this decline. And the gas import from the northern African countries is also not really optimistic, including Algeria and Libya, and this is because the investment in those countries are declining. In mainly gas industry, gas production is declining. The perspective, I think, for export of Azerbaijani gas to the European market, I see is quite optimistic. So I could not leave out the Turkish Stream project because it's just initiated in our neighborhood, and this is also can have some effect to the in general gas production and gas sales in this region. So one thing I think should be clear with the Turkish Stream. It should be clear that there is no new volumes that Russia will sell to its European customers. It's the same gas, the same volumes, already contracted gas that the Russian Gazprom customers will offtake probably at the completed another delivery point, but the gas volumes will be same, and this, in that sense, there will not be any change in the market. What kind of implications this project may have for Azerbaijan or Shah Deniz gas? Well, I see no effect of future gas export from Azerbaijan. As I said, because there will not be any new volumes, and the second reason, because gas volumes have already been contracted and sold to the European customers, and the reverse development here is not possible. The same we can say about TANAP. So this gas, the Shah Deniz gas, will be transported via TANAP, and this is not going to be changed at least until 2022, when Absheron gas will come online. And I see that it should be very important for Absheron gas producers to develop this field and this gas to come online before the possibility of Turkish Stream realization. Well, of course, this will give some probably advantages for Turkey. For Turkish, so they will have more alternatives, and this can put pressure on Azerbaijani suppliers in negotiations on price, future negotiations on future volumes. So with TAP, well, you know, the TAP is the European project, and it will be operated in accordance with the EU regulations, and the third-party access is also allowed in the TAP project, and then any other gas shippers may transport their gas via TAP if the TAP consortium will decide to expand the capacity for another 10 BCM, apart from the 10 BCM for Shah Deniz gas, for another 10 BCM for other gas, and if the economics allows. So we looked at the possibility whether the Turkish Stream project can phase out completely Ukraine as a transit country. And we see that even with 4 strings, if Russia is managed to build 4 strings by 2019, when the contract with Ukraine will be expired, even with 4 strings, some market in Europe, for instance, traded market in the UK or the Netherlands, some partly Hungarian and Austrian market will not be served with even 4 strings. So this is, I think, the fact that needs to be taken into account. And a few words about to conclude. Well, the President Aliyev said in the inauguration of the commence of TANAP construction that we are creating a new and serious partnership in the Eurasian region, and its both political and economic effect will be enormous. Southern Gas Corridor is not only a pipeline, it's a serious political initiative. So we see how the President Aliyev regards this project. It has both very important economic, commercial, and political sense for the entire region. Because in pursuing Shah Deniz, I think Azerbaijan had also some its political goals, because the gas producer companies in Azerbaijan could sell this gas in its neighborhood, for instance, in Turkey, probably with even a high profit, and a lot easier, in an easier way than it's now selling to the European buyers. Because Azerbaijan wants to be a supplier to Europe, and this is a strategic goal, and with this Azerbaijan has its own expectation that Europe will become more engaged in this region with the advent of the project that links Azerbaijan deeper to Europe. You know, the energy security has the price, and the EU energy security also has the price, and the EU also has to pay for its energy security. So there are still many milestones that needs to be achieved with this South Gas corridor, and there are a number of challenges that the partners, the investors, are facing in Europe, and this is there are still some challenges with the regulations in Italy, in Greece, etc. So we expect that these bureaucratic delays will be solved anytime soon by close cooperation of the EU. With that, I would like to stop and thank you very much for your attention.